That shit's kind of this right here is fucked up. You're gonna understand with Josh Paul right here. You're gonna understand why this is fucked up.
You would think so.
Yeah,
They tried to keep this very hushed up.
Not only did the prosecutor's son get laid, but it's also fucked you over even harder. How do you get that?
Yeah,
fucking
his dad
deal?
got a promotion.
Allegedly.
He got some poo nanny, and his dad got a promotion. Everybody won except for Josh.
Bro, that's fucked up. So the girl apparently did some shit with the son, who was the officer's fucking son, and fucking got away with that shit. Like, why? And then he gets even more shit for it. I don't get it. I don't get this shit, man.
Oh well, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the part where it gets crazy and the part that makes it worth checking out, I suppose, is that she was 18 at the time and he was 17. Federally, that's illegal. In the state, it's not. But when pictures are involved, allegedly, then it's a federal crime.
Yeah, it's child porn.
Yes, when
retarded.
17-year-old pictures by federal law are illegal. And let's say, hypothetically, if this girl was in possession of them, then the FBI can get involved with her. And hypothetically, if you have a federal charge against you, you can testify on other people to make it go away.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy, man.
The alleged FBI allegedly approached this girl who was just sexting with a 17-year-old boy and said, "Hey, look," and they allegedly said, "Yeah, help us out with this little guy over here, with this guy that we're trying to turn into an example, and maybe we'll drop the charges. Who knows?"
Precisely. Yep, exactly. And
God
this is some
damn it.
kind of stuff that I never would have believed actually happens had it not happened to me, if that makes sense. I was just the typical naive guy that thought, criminals go to the big house because they did something bad and they made a terrible mistake, and that's just not the reality, man.
The sexting part is the only thing that I believe does happen, and I feel like maybe that because there's so many news of like a boyfriend goes to jail because he was sexting with a 17-year-old girlfriend, and the boy is like 18.
Yep.
That shit happens so often, it seems, in America.
Well,
and I feel like
It
maybe
does. I agree with you. Like, that shit really does. You really gotta ask people
even if
their
the
age.
boy
bro,
in that
'cause,
situation right there was like 16 and she was 17, it's still child porn by law.
That too.
If the situation right there was like 16 and she was 17, it's still child porn by law.
That too,
Either
yeah.
way, yep.
Yeah.
Good point.
They'll
I mean,
still
even
just
if
charge the older person.
no, sometimes they charge a kid himself too, or herself. Sometimes I've seen those
I guess
cases
that
too.
would be, I was about to say distribution. Oh, God.
Yeah, I've read those cases too, where the kid themselves is charged with distribution of child porn because the kid took a dick pic at 16 and sent it to some broad. As boys do.
It goes even worse, where you can get charged for stuff that you don't even want. There was some kid who had a bunch of shit thrown at him because a classmate sent him like either a dick pic or something, and he deleted it. But they went through his phone records and they were like, "Oh, you have child porn on your phone." And they literally threw like a bunch of punishments at him when it was a completely unsolicited text.
This is just not how the law is supposed to work, man. It's really
my
not.
favorite, dude, the law. Let's talk about the law. My favorite news ever, maybe not favorite news, but in this category at least. You guys remember when I think some boy sent some girl a dick pic? And then the police, he denied that it was his dick in the photo. So the police decided, hey, we're going to take you to the hospital and we're going to give you an erection. And then we're going to look at your cock and compare the photos in order to prove that it's your dick. Yeah. You guys remember that case? The cops.
No. I believe
the cops officially said that they wanted to look at this kid's erect cock in order to determine, well, we gotta make sure.
Anybody else on the planet asks, it's a federal crime.
Well, Kaya, you're going to look real stupid when it turns out that's what solves the case and proves it was his dick.
Yeah, it proves it's the Zodiac Killer or something.
Yeah, you're going to feel real silly when that research comes out.
They caught it.
Oh, shit. That's fucked up, actually.
I wonder if I can still find this. It might be a bit of an old news article.
Yeah. While you do that, I want to ask Josh. So you saw like FBI agents.
That's
in
so
person,
fucked.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. All over my house.
Yeah, so I always imagined FBI people to look completely different from cops, where you'll see some cops that are just like super like out of shape, obese, and goofy looking. I always imagined FBI to be like college chads. Were they just as goofy too, or were they like kind of
some cool? Some of them were definitely the college chad types. And considering I live at Ole Miss, or I did live at Ole Miss, I was quite familiar with the frat boy douche types whose dad shoehorned him into a job. a lot of them were that, but the lead agent on my case looked like he would have been, if he wasn't, you know, in his early 40s, he should have been the bass player for Mumford and Sons. He had a huge beard and like knuckle tattoos, and like he just looked like some weird. Yeah, apparently he had done a lot of undercover work in motorcycle gangs, so he was all tattooed up and stuff like that. You like, this is the kind of guy you would never guess as a cop if you looked at him. You know, he wasn't like Farva or anything like that.
Isn't that good for his job, though?
Oh, I'm assuming so.
Isn't that a benefit?
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, like I said, I think he did a lot of undercover, dangerous work with motorcycle gangs and, you know, drug gangs and stuff like that. And he definitely fit the part by his appearance. And then he got on the stand against me and was like, well, we didn't find any knives in the kitchen.
They're dangerous RuneScapers and Hell's Angels. Same thing. You're just looking at fucking... Meanwhile, the cops
Yeah, the
are
same guy busted us.
Did you go undercover as a RuneScape player next?
Oh god, he gets addicted to it, comes over to the dark side.
Yeah,
Did you happen to see any? Sorry, Kai,
Nah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask on the subject of appearances and this and that. Were any of the FBI guys like actual like agents, like men in black with like suits and sunglasses and shit? Did any of them try to intimidate you or come off as professional at all?
Not until we got to that interrogation room I told you about, where they clicked that light on me and they were like, "Have you ever heard of a game called RuneScape?"
Oh, I'd shit my pants if I was asked
Yeah,
that.
he wasn't all CIA'd out with like the you know, the tux and the black glasses and all that, but they were trying to play good cop bad cop on me, which I was familiar with from TV. And unfortunately, I mean, I was not intimidated in the least by the good cop bad cop routine. All I did was try to tell them the truth, you know, and I think I mentioned last time that was a terrible mistake, because as soon as I got done telling them everything, they were like, "Oh, we know there's more to the story, and you're going to go ahead and confess, or else you're going to get extra charges." That's pretty much the only time where they were really trying to pull off this facade of we're so professional and great at our job and we're secretive and powerful. That's really the only time they did that. They tried to act like they knew where I'd been for the last week and a half, which was funny because I'd not left my mom's house in a week and a half.
Did you
Me and my
notice any
girlfriend were
fucking
holed up in my room.
vans with suspicious writing on the side, like flower wet van, you know, just with a big satellite dish?
I don't think they came around. I mean, the time from the time that I made the threat to the time that they raided my house and I actually went to the Hooskow for the first time was only 4 days apart. I was told that they sent a local police officer to my house to ask where I was, but I don't know where he went that he thinks he went, because I was home like that entire 4 days. You know, I was sitting in there drinking vodka and playing RuneScape and hanging out with my girlfriend at my mom's house like an absolute unit. And, I don't know where they sent that guy or what. I don't know what kind of surveillance they had, but I do know that they followed my girlfriend when she left. She went to go pick up her little sister from daycare and drop her off at her parents' house. And so whenever they arrested me, they were like, "Who's the little girl that girl just picked up in the red car?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, the girl just picked up a little girl, like a 2-year-old girl from a daycare. Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh my God, man, that's my girlfriend picking up her sister. Holy shit, man, are you serious?" So they obviously followed her. I'm not sure what kind of covert surveillance they did prior to that. I'm still surprised that I didn't realize they were out there until there were 100 of them.
I'm actually surprised they didn't pull your internet history and try to somehow blackmail you with your porn viewing habits or something.
They did. He said they did. Remember, they pulled all his internet history.
They pulled my internet history, but I did not have any out of the ordinary pornography searches for them to use against me. You know, I wasn't.
Yeah, I guess
I wasn't
that's
doing
why.
anything weird. If they ever did see any of my porn searches, they were probably like, "Oh, this is a very straightforward white bread kind of guy. He doesn't seem to fit our bill at all." Because you'd think that guys like that would be looking at violent stuff or something, but I wasn't that weird, you know.
So
Nope.
I looked up this case that I just mentioned, and it's almost somehow even worse than I remember. It says the 17-year-old from Manassas City, Virginia, is being charged for manufacturing child sex abuse and possession of child sex abuse because he sent a dick pic of himself. So this boy is being
To who though?
to his 15-year-old girlfriend. Let me read this for you guys, but this guy was charged with child sex abuse because he sent a dick pic, as boys do. It's not abuse, guys. We play with our dicks. It's fun, actually. It's not abusive in the least. He not
Wait,
only
you do? You savage. Ew.
I know,
God, it's
dude.
fucking
I
filthy
know.
down there. What are you doing?
He not only
Yeah,
faces
that's how you
jail
get
time.
STDs.
He not only faces jail time, but a lifetime on the sex offenders database. This was in 2014. Why? Well, he allegedly took a dick pic and sent it to his 15-year-old girlfriend. In some states, yada yada. His lawyer, Jessica Harbison Foster, has said that the boy has been told by the prosecution that if he doesn't plead guilty, they will have to issue a search warrant for pictures of his erect penis in order to prove that the video was sent. That the video sent was of his penis. His lawyer asked how this would be done, and the and says she was told, we just take him down to the hospital, give him a shot, and then take the pictures that we need.
Which is child porn in and of itself.
Yeah,
It's child abuse in a way,
That's
too.
the real
Jesus.
child abuse between the two charges there.
It's called
Yeah.
justice, actually.
Wow.
Anything for justice.
Wow.
Little do you
I've
know,
seen
one of the
Sherlock
FBI
Holmes.
agents is over there like on uwu mode. Nobody knew it. Sarah from Subway is the one taking the pictures. Oh my god.
time for your shot. Okay.
Yeah, let's give him the old Viagra now. Start sweating. Knowing how the FBI is.
Fucking Jeffrey Epstein comes in the room. Here's a drink.
I heard we're doing some dick
Harvey
pics in
Weinstein
here.
joins.
What's up? Pops a bottle of wine. That doesn't surprise me with the way the FBI is, man. I mean, then by nature, they're obviously in possession of it, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the same way as they're allowed to walk around with a kilo of coke. Oh, it's evidence, you know? Oh, I just had it in the back of my car because it's evidence, and I have it in my mustache because I had to make sure it was coke.
So retarded.
I mean, that's unfortunately the way the justice system actually works, man. I never would have guessed it, but in reality, I mean, they break the law constantly. They bend the rules, and they try to apply the law in ways that was never intended to be used. You know, they use it as a weapon instead of as a punishment of any sort.
I mean, just know, as with drugs, I'm sure cops skim off the top. You know, when they catch a guy with fucking child porn, I'm sure some CDs disappear from the evidence room.
God, I can only imagine. Yeah, I mean, everything else goes missing, so why not that? Mm-hmm. When I went back to prison on my violation, I heard rumors that some of the, because whenever I went back, I went to a low security prison for the first time, and this was a yard that was like specifically basically set up for either people back on violation or that had sex charges or were gang dropouts, you know, like a messed up yard where they send those people so they can be protected and safe together. And I heard rumors that guys had pictures of kids in their lockers and stuff like that were brought into them by the COs. So, I mean, where there's a market, you know, supply and demand, I guess it's kind of like every prison has drugs in it. That was just their drug of choice. I mean, it's corrupt all the way from the ground up, including from the prison guards all the way up to presumably the FBI lead. And I got caught in this net, man, and I was sleeping next to these people, and I look young, man. I think I mentioned that last time. I look young. I really don't feel very comfortable around pedos, more so than probably the average person. Thankfully, they get their heads kicked in pretty much everywhere except for that prison.
Yeah, you know, as long as they, you know, are outside of the FBI, but I feel like a lot of them are in the FBI. You know, back when Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself, it's kind of suspicious how they dropped all of their beans at once. You know, security guards fell asleep, security cameras failed. Somebody was screaming, but we didn't, you know, bother to check on it because, you know, we were napping, and he kind of hung himself from 2 feet height using toilet paper as a fucking noose or something. Oh, well, okay, sure.
For what it's worth, I would like to point out that COs regularly and routinely beat the ever-living shit out of pedophiles off the record, you know, with no cameras and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's what happened, obviously. I don't really know much about that case or anything, but that very well could have something to do with it. They might have gone in there and just fucked the dude up themselves, for all I know. But it's pretty common for even the cops to go in there and stomp on a pedo's head if he's bad enough.
Or maybe they fucked him up because he was a narc. Who knows? He was about to spill the beans.
Very well could be.
Well, maybe prison's not that bad, though, guys, because when you're in prison, you get to do a couple things, like you can work out. And if you're at home right now, I have something that'll help you work out. I'd like to talk about it if that's okay.
Well,
But that's kind of fucked up, actually. All that shit, bro. They be bending rules. Like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb.